Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hivemind Recap Podcast. May is in the books. Justin, Derek, Jacob, and I, we are all here to talk about our favorite releases from the past month. Compared to April, I feel like I'm going to be taking a bit more of a backseat this month. I do not have as much to talk about, but we still have quite a bit in this month's playlist. We've got 13 singles, we've got 3 EPs, and we have 5 albums to go over, so definitely not a small playlist by any means. As always, the playlist will be linked in the description of the episode if you want to check out everything that we're going to be discussing. 3 EPs from Lisp, Alt, and Constellations. And then we got 5 albums from Nature's Ghost. Shout out the boys. We did an interview with them a while ago. And then we got a bunch of debut albums. We got from Beyond Awareness, Sachi 6, and then we got new albums from Karmanjakah and Dark Divine to wrap up this episode. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. How are we all feeling on this Monday night? It's June 1st as we're recording this. I can't think of a single other time where we have recorded an episode on the first of a month as for
been
a monthly
while.
recap.
Never.
If it's ever happened,
We've
it's been
done
a
it
while.
before. We've done it
Oh,
before.
yeah?
I don't know when.
Your memory's
Look,
better than mine, man.
all I'm saying is one of us has a band now, and I think we're all just irrelevant at this point. Because Jake decided to go to Poland and start a band.
Oh, that's
I mean,
true.
we did take a pretty fire photo in the woods. I was taking
Sounds like
band
it
name
would fit right
suggestions.
in.
Yeah. No, there were so many times that we were exploring Poland where my friend Will, he does not like metal music at all. He's like an 80s classic rock type of dude. But I've told him about the trope of like metalcore bands. You never know when you turn the corner and you might find a metalcore band recording a music video in the forest. So as we were doing all these hikes in the mountains and stuff, he's like, "Yo, Jake, that would be like a fire spot to record a music video." No,
It's like, hold on, wait a minute. Pause, you might be onto something.
And one of them, I decided to take a group shot of all of us because I could. So, yeah, Poland was awesome. My second international trip was not a flawless trip by any means. There are some things that happened on that trip that only myself and my 2 friends are going to know about. And everyone else is only going to hear a half-truth of those stories, but that is all they need to hear. So, but I had a great time.
Jake did hallucinogenics in the Polish
No.
wilderness.
I did try a sesame bagel for the first time, and it sucked.
Is that a hallucinogenic?
It sucked? You're not a fan of a sesame?
No,
Okay, wait, was
no.
it like a sesame bagel or like
Did
an
you put
everything
anything
bagel?
on it?
True, wait,
It was just a sesame bagel, nothing else on it.
Like no butter?
And no butter. I tried ripping all the sesame seeds
wonder.
off because I didn't think I would like them, and then I ripped enough off the bagel and tried taking a small bite where I thought there weren't any more seeds, and there were still seeds, and it was gross, so I just didn't eat any more of the bagel.
Ah, man. Yeah, you've kind of sabotaged yourself by not putting anything on a sesame
Well-
bagel. A sesame bagel with no toppings genuinely is giga ass. Like, I don't blame you. That's
So
terrible.
dry.
You don't got to be a picky eater.
I
to
only eat
think
plain
that's
bagels
normal.
as is. I don't put butter or toast in my bagels anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, you gotta do the day that you decide that you're willing to try a little bit of butter on your bagel, your life is gonna change, my brother. I'm not a cream cheese
Butter
guy
bagel.
personally on a bagel. Need a little bit of butter bagel, bro. I'm telling you, man.
I also,
That-
by
I can't-
technicality,
I can't do
tried
without-
chicken schnitzel, which is basically just
Oh,
a
yeah.
chicken tender.
What you think?
But it was fine.
It really is just like a European chicken tender.
Yeah,
I guess. Well,
yeah.
do chicken tenders have a nationality? Who invented the chicken finger? Hold on, one moment. I gotta find this out.
We were
Where
hanging out with
do
some British
chicken-
guys at a barcade one night,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and and I was telling them how like I'm a super picky eater, and they're like, "Yeah, have you tried any of the local food?" And I was like, "McDonald's."
No way. How they call it? What do they call it over there? Macca's. You gotta go.
That's in
Macca's.
the UK, yeah.
Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where did chicken fingers originate?
The Guitar Hero setup at that barcade was awesome, though.
What?
It's got to be American. I feel like it's American.
It is. Yo, I want you guys to guess when the first chicken tender was made.
Like
Like what year?
1800s, probably.
I'm thinking like post World War II, like immediately after World War II.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Jake there.
1974. This
Not
feels like
terribly far off.
my parents were born before the chicken tender was made. Do you know how this impacts me? Look at this. It was made in the Puritan. It was a restaurant called the Puritan Backroom, which sounds like a place where children go to die, in Manchester, New Hampshire, by a guy named Charlie Pappas.
Wait, I think I've been to Manchester, New Hampshire before. I think I've been there.
Now hold on.
Hold on.
You were at a historic site. You didn't even know it.
Especially for a guy like me, that is a very historic site.
Oh, yep. In 2023, the mayor of Manchester declared Manchester as the chicken tender capital of the world.
I got to go back to New Hampshire.
I wonder if it's like a Philly cheesesteak situation where like they tourist trap you with the best chicken tenders in the country. I remember that. I went to Philly to go see Dance Gavin Dance with my dad. And I tried like 6 Philly cheesesteaks, and I was like, wow, these are all worse than the favorite one that like I have close to my house. Like, I'm like, these are terrible. What is this shit?
The Canadian equivalent of that is going to Quebec or Montreal and buying poutine.
Okay, so where do we need to go for poutine then? Because I do like some good poutine, but I've only ever had it Americanized.
I think poutine is overrated, man. So,
okay.
I don't like soggy fries, so.
Oh man, you're not. So I take it you're not a big like salt and vinegar kind of guy with your fries.
Not really, no.
Ah, man. What about you, Justin? How do you like your fries? Crispy or soggy? You a soggy fry kind of guy, or what's up?
Absolutely not. No sog on my fries.
No sog.
No sog. My feet are bare the way I got no sog, bro. Get them.
Anyway, food tangent aside, did any of us go to any concerts this month? I think
I went to 2/3 of one.
I talked about when I saw Dayseeker this month or last month before our April recast. I don't think I need to talk about that again. Jacob, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, so I went to Hounds of the Underground tour, which was Wind Waker, Colorblind, and I always get their name wrong. If Not For Me or If Not For You, I forget.
If Not For Me, yeah.
If Not For Me.
Very important distinction.
Yeah, and to my luck, If Not For Me was playing last. And yeah, so I left before they came out.
That's a band worth seeing on that lineup. I feel like I'm not rocking with them.
They have like the one song, and I checked the set list is at the end of their set. So I was like,
that's brutal.
I'm not waiting for that.
I would have been very curious to hear how they sounded live because I feel like they've got potential to be really good live.
From when I saw them open for Memphis Mayfire last year, they were good live. They were pretty good. They sounded pretty close to the studio version.
I also was like, wanted to get to bed, so old man.
Dude, that's so real.
But
It do be like that.
Wind Waker was first, and they were awesome. They literally played like all the songs I wanted to hear mostly off of their most recent album. They confirmed new album is done, written or finished. I can't remember what he said now. One of the two. And yeah, they were way better than the first time I saw them. I think it's just because I love the little small intimate venues with it's like a tiny bar. Way better than like a arena.
It's just coming to me this week. I didn't know.
Norfolk?
Yeah, it's Wednesday or Saturday. No, it's Richmond. It's going Saturday.
What day? Wait, you just said Saturday.
Saturday.
Am I brain dead?
It's at Canal.
It's been a long week. Okay. Wait, I can't even. Dude, I have been getting, for lack of a better word, fisted trying to go to concerts recently. Dude, remember I was supposed to go. I told you guys I had tickets secured for Wage War and Never Tell because my friend, his dad knows somebody who's like connected with the National or whatever. Right? And so, like, when we went last year to see Plot and You, like, we got the VIP tickets up on the balcony. It was great. I swore off standing for a concert ever again. And it was supposed to be Tuesday. On Tuesday, I said, I just remembered tonight is the concert. Are we still going? He texted me back, what? Smiley face? And I dropped him a period. And he said, oh, I thought I told you we didn't get them. Someone else did. Did I not update you? Spoiler alert. He did not update
he did not.
So I did not end up
tough.
seeing Wage War and Never Tell. But in listening to the set list in preparation, Jacob, you'll be very happy to know I ended up saving 4x4. I'm a 4x4 convert.
Jake will
Yeah.
I tried so hard. I couldn't not. I was Umran undying my way through the day, and it took me over. I was consumed. I'm a part of the swamp now.
One of us.
the next was Colorblind, and they were fun too, honestly. Like it's my second time seeing them, I think. And yeah, just I don't know their songs all that well. I did enjoy the EP from last year. And they played the new song, which is in our playlist, which we'll talk about. But I asked this on the day I went, but I feel like their bassist is the guy who used to be in Kingdom of Giants. But maybe he's like a touring musician. He could be like a touring musician. He looks so familiar though. Yeah,
I cannot confirm nor deny that statement.
I'm gonna investigate. Hold on. Their bassist name is in their Spotify bio. All right.
Oh, is it?
And I know Kingdom of Giants has a Wikipedia page because I've been on it before trying to figure out who the hell is in the band at any given point in time. Okay.
I feel like he did the cleans at one point. Like maybe on Passenger?
Okay.
I don't
Their
know.
bassist is Nicholas Asper. I am not seeing that name
I posted
on
his
there.
picture.
Let me see. Hold on.
He might be just like a touring musician for Colorblind. Yeah. That was, and then I left. I didn't watch If Not For Me, so that was the show.
Did Wind Waker play quick? I'm assuming they did
Yeah.
because they just dropped it, but
Yep.
yeah. I really want to hear that song live.
It was like, what was the other one? The new one? Victory Lap?
Yeah.
They played, Victory Lap, and then like a bunch of songs from Hyperviolence. 2 songs from Love Language, one being, what's the one that's really popular? Dopamine Freestyle. And then there was one deluxe song from Hyperviolence. I can't remember the name of it though.
Yeah,
Whatever the
I would really
deluxe
like to go
song
to
is.
that tour if it was coming any closer than 2.5 hours from me.
You know what was nice about it? Because it's a triple headliner.
Hmm.
They all have the same set length.
That's really cool.
So it's like a 45 minutes to an hour for each band.
I wish that was the case for like most of the tours that I'm coming around. Like I feel like I end up liking most of the openers, and then they get like a 6-song set list, and then the one I don't want to see is headlining, and they're like,
Yep.
"Yeah, this is our longest set in 5 years. We got 21 tracks, like, and the one song you like is going to be at the end." Like you were saying, Jacob, it's always,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I say we get into this month's episode, this month's playlist. As I mentioned, playlist link will be in the description of the episode if you want to follow along with everything we're talking about. Be sure to follow us on social media at Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram and Twitter. Hivemind Radio on YouTube. We are approaching 450 subscribers. Thank you for subscribing and all
That's
that.
crazy.
And you can follow us on Spotify and other podcast platforms at Hivemind Recap Podcast. You can also join our Discord server. We soft launched it earlier this year. Haven't really used it much for the past few months. But over the next month, we're really going to try and start doing stuff in the Discord server. So if you want to chat with us, make suggestions about new music or whatever, be sure to join the Discord server. That's probably the easiest way to communicate with us directly if you join the server. And we'll also get updates about when we are recording these podcasts. So without further ado, let's get started with this episode. Jacob, you had just mentioned it, but you got the first song in the playlist here.
That's right. Colorblind have released new single Pressure that finally came with an album announcement.
When's it dropping?
Sure did. Album drops
August?
August 28th.
This is the opener.
This is the album opener. It is a 15
I
song
did not know
album, and it does not look like there is a single interlude on the album.
Oh boy.
I think it could work if all of the songs, or at least a majority of them, are as fast-paced, I guess, as this one was. Like, not only is it like 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, but it's also very energetic.
Yes.
I'm concerned that that's the opener, because like to me this feels like a track like, I don't know, 7 type of deal. Like I guess we always have different expectations of what like an album opener or closer would be, but like I don't get opener energy from this at all. Am I like off base with that, or?
I kind
kinda
of get it. To me, this is like the album opener song for an album that's just like 10 songs that are all just kind of like the same. But you know those metalcore albums where like track 7, track 4, and track 2 and track 1 could all be the album opener?
Yep.
That's kind of how I feel about this song. Not to say that Pressure is a bad song, but there are some songs that are very obviously an album opener, like A Sun Killer or Elegy by Architects, those sorts of songs. Pressure is not the obvious album opener, but I still think it's a fun song, and it like definitely is like, with how fast it is, it's definitely not going to be a boring album opener. It's like I'm going to be invested in the album experience from this first song.
Crazy that it leads into Car Crash and then Needle Eye as the first 3 songs of the album.
Oh, so they dropped the first 3 as singles?
So there was the EP last year.
Oh,
was it last
yeah.
year? Yeah, all of those songs are on the album.
But they're all spread
okay.
across the album. They aren't like the 6 songs that were on the EP are not all connected to each other in the album. So
Yeah.
very interesting rollout strategy. Definitely a product of the modern age of streaming and social media. But
Yeah, real.
Yeah, I mean, it was originally supposed to be just an album last year, and then they wrote a lot and segmented it into essentially 2 EPs and combined them.
I mean, yeah, needless to say, most of the singles that Colorblind have put out over the past year or so have been great. So I'm excited for this album.
So catchy, and they sound the same live.
Yeah, he does sound very, very similar live.
I haven't listened to this yet. I'm saving it for the album, so I'm sure it'll be good.
Justin, you have the next like 7 songs in the playlist. So
Holy, he does.
Music I like was on fire.
You're taking my role from last month. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe I can talk in the conversations. Frenia dropped their single "Never Giving In."
You, it's not right. That's why I never give in. You're the star in my sky. You're the star in my sky. And I'm deer in headlights.
Not my favorite Frenia, if I'll be honest. I really like it. It's different. The instrumentation picking up toward like the second chorus, bridge and the bridge. With the guitar solo, I think kind of sells this for me.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard this song, I was like, this is like up there for one of my favorite Frenia songs. And then I never really went back to it much throughout the month.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
that's about where I was at.
I think that's how I felt about a lot of music this month. Maybe I can chalk some of it up to the fact that I was in Europe for 10 days. So like I just wasn't able to listen to music as much or as I wasn't able to listen to music as much as I would at home. But this song came out early in the month before my trip, and like I recognized day of that like this is a really good song. I like the kind of acoustic slower vibes that it has. The chorus hits, the guitar, like very almost, it's not power metal-y, but it's like in the guitar tone almost is. And I just found it really interesting and really cool for them. But yeah, it's just, this is definitely something that was a trend for me this month. Of this song is really good, but has not had a lot of longevity or staying power with me.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. But a song that did have long staying power for me was this new track by SENNA, called Out of the Blue. This is in contention with my single of the month.
Interesting.
So this and one other song that we'll get
This is
to.
also the first song with their new vocalist. Their guitarist or bassist, I don't know who, but one of them stepped up to take over lead vocals for the band.
Yeah, the previous vocalist left at the end of last year. And they were actually going to break up because of it. But the guitarist stepped up, got into doing the vocals more. I think he just did harmonies on some of the songs, but now he's full blown doing the vocals, and I think it suits super well.
And the vocal style is like, I guess maybe it's just because of the involvement of the harmonies, but I really couldn't, like, if you would have told me that they had a different vocalist, I honestly wouldn't have been able to tell. And the fact that it's like, oh, they threw in a little bit more like uncleans than I used to, I feel like. I gotta remember them having...
The big tell for me is that their original vocalist had a lot more of a raspier voice.
Yeah. I could.
Whereas this is, it's both vocalists have like that kind of more airy atmospheric sound, but their original vocalist had a bit more of a rasp to his singing, which was part of the appeal for me. So I was definitely a little concerned, almost uninterested when I heard that he had left the band. But giving this song a chance, I was really impressed. There's a lot of really cool instrumental moments in between verses and between choruses. The breakdown is very cool. Just overall, like, this is a very impressive recovery from what could have been the end of this band.
It's wild. This band's a 3-piece, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
This to me is one of those few bands. Like, I feel like there are a lot of bands out there that if you lose your vocalist, you kind of lose your identity. Like, I'm going to be so for real. As much shit as I give Dayseeker, if Roy Rodriguez left that band, it would be Raps. But like SENNA, I feel like are in that smaller group of bands where I feel like they're more defined by their instrumentation and that sort of sound they develop for themselves more than their vocals. Which is why I think this still works as well as it does. I mean, I think I said it during our album review, but I feel like a lot of their songs sound like the sonic equivalent instrumentally of like a summer rain shower almost. Yeah. Like it's very vibey, and this is no different. It's groovy, it's fun, it's atmospheric. It's everything I would have wanted out of a SENNA song, and I think despite losing their vocalist, they still did a great job with this.
Yeah, their album last year was really good. I think it cleared my top 10. I think it was in there. I can't remember. But it was good. It was a really good album. Definitely recommend it. All right, we got Nightlife coming back with 2 new singles off of an upcoming album. First single we're going to talk about is You Know.
Very 2000, late 90s, early 2000s, NSYNC boy band. Those vibes are very, very present here. And as always, Nightlife nailed that sound. Yeah. No, it's great.
It's so much fun.
I wish
really haven't skipped it.
They played 2 unreleased songs at the Honey Revenge tour last summer. And I want to believe that it is this song and the song that they released the week after that we're going to be talking about next. But I cannot remember if these are actually the 2 songs that they played at that show.
I can't remember either. Although my show was weird because what's her name didn't show up.
Vanna wasn't there. Because I remember that they played 2 unreleased songs and one of them was a lot heavier than the other. So I'm assuming that given that this is the softer boy band song and Better Off is the heavier song, that they are the two songs that they played on tour last year. But I don't know. And I don't think I took videos of them to
So
fact
you
check that.
don't know.
I do not know.
Setlist FM says the July 2nd had You Know and Better, which is titled Better
Probably
Off
just
instead.
Better Off now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So that seems to be accurate.
I've heard.
Either way,
I've heard this
tangent
song
aside.
before.
Yeah.
Tangent aside,
Supposedly.
yeah,
I don't know.
it's just really fun. This song is really fun.
I'm waiting till the next one because I like it more.
Well, let's talk about it. Better Off, featuring Kodak Couture. This song
Somebody been
slaps.
listening to Blackpink in your area.
Yup.
This is my single of the month.
Justin, we will get you into K-pop one of these days.
It's not going to be that hard, to be fair.
True.
I think it's tangential to what we listen to.
Which is such a crazy... Yo, imagine saying that, I don't know, at the start of the decade, almost. I really do feel like the scene has started to wear these other...
Nope.
Not even adjacent genres on their
But,
sleeve, but...
It's so weird because it's like Nightlight and Nightlife are the only bands doing
Yeah.
this.
I wouldn't say they're the only
fuck with
bands
it.
doing this. Nature's
Well,
Ghost,
the
we'll be
only ones
talking
that-
about them later as well.
True.
but-
This is a banger.
Yeah.
They blend
I feel like the song is kind of
and
leaving us
heaviness
speechless.
so well.
Like,
Yeah,
we're struggling
it's-
to talk about the song for how good it is.
The problem is that I feel like we talk about a lot of different bands that are oh yeah, they've got a great pop sensibility. And then there's just Nightlife, who has been doing it for 5 years now, I guess. And they nail it every single time. It's it's up there with the home team for the spiritual successor of Issues almost, that this blend of heavy and pop in a very specific way. There's different ways to do it, I guess, which we'll get to later with that Sachi 6 album, but this in and of itself is definitely it's pop music, but it's heavy, and that's really good. More. Give me more. That is my only complaint with Nightlife, is that I feel like they all have full-time jobs. That's not right. Make more music.
Well,
The other
there is
problem
an
that I
album
have-
later this year, so
The other problem that I have is I don't like, this is not the first time where they've released one song and then another song a week later and then disappear for a year.
Yeah.
If you
do
have
this,
a
don't give
couple of
me
songs
hope.
ready to release, maybe give me a month between them, not a week. I don't know. It kind of makes me feel like I can't appreciate the first song as much when the second song comes out a week later.
It's a catch-22, man, because
Yeah.
then it's it comes out a month later, and I'm fuck, I wish I had this sooner. I'm just...
Mhm.
You can't win, because I know exactly what you're talking about. I feel the same way, but then I'm well, shit, if the roles were reversed. But I'd rather have Better Off
Or
sooner,
just release them
probably.
on the same day instead of a week apart.
No.
I would rather them release these two songs on the same day than a week apart.
I'm only disagreeing with you because I can. I just want you to know that.
I don't. I mean, it's them playing the algorithm, I guess, in their way.
Could be, yeah. Man, another instance of this stupid stream services bullshit fucking with our ability to be able to consume music in the way we want. But I guess it's not the way that everybody else wants to consume it if it's what the algorithm works for. I don't know. Who knows? The
Not
masses...
every music fan has a podcast where they have to discuss music at the end of every month, you know?
That is
we're
true.
the
There are a lot
outliers
of people
here.
whose favorite artist is Taylor Swift. So I don't know. It's a whole other world.
Tangent,
I love
low-key,
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift at the karaoke bar in Prague went kind of hard.
Oh hell yeah! What song? Did you sing it?
I was lip syncing along to it for the most part. The only song that I actually sang along to was In the End by Linkin Park.
Okay, that's very on brand, I would say. What Taylor Swift song was it?
It was 22, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, valid. Man, Taylor Swift used to be so good. 1989 is like a flawless album, and then everything else afterwards. I don't. She said,
we
"Look
should
what you
talk
made me
about-
do," and then started making shit music.
We
Sorry,
should put
what?
Drake's 3 new albums in this playlist.
No, actually, and not because it's Drake. It's because they're all really fucking terrible.
I listened.
They are they are in fact irredeemably bad. I don't, Kendrick. It's kind of like when Eminem dissed Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun Kelly switched genres and started making the worst pop punk I've ever heard in my entire life. That's kind of like what Kendrick did to Drake. He dissed him and called him a pedophile, and now Drake is incapable. He's like trying to write his own music now to like prove that he's talented, and it's shit. It's so bad.
What did he do? He did some random shit for the release of the album in Toronto. Like tons of fireworks and shit. Oh. Past the noise curfew too.
Oh man, somebody arrest him. He should have been arrested for some other stuff too first. If I'm being so honest, but I'll take what I can get. Yeah, no, those albums were bad. If you're listening and you haven't heard them yet, you were thinking, man, I really.
So you're saying that you listened to 3 Drake albums before you got to the Sachi 6 album?
Unfortunately, yes. Because a lot of my friends were talking about how bad the Drake albums were, and I threw them on in the background while I was working.
There was more social pressure for that one, reasonable excuse.
No.
Reasonable.
We gotta step up our
I'm not
game,
happy about it,
boys.
but reasonable.
Well, the problem is like, if I'm gonna listen to like, I don't know, like I'll give the Sachi 6 album, or even like the Karmanjakah, I think I butchered that album. Like, I want to give that my attention, and I feel like Drake. No amount of active listening could save those albums. I'm telling you right now, it was really rough.
No amount of active listening could save the new Shinedown album that just came out either, by the way.
Oh, they dropped an album? Oh, boy.
18 songs, an hour and 4 minutes long.
Oh, no. Oh.
I listened through it front to back.
Needs to realize there's a point where they should just stop making music and tour. I feel like there's like some boomer bands that have recognized that, like Metallica. And but there's Shinedown needs to recognize that too.
Yeah, and I mean, look, they're real ones. I remember they brought Spirit Box out on tour. They've always been pretty invested in the scene as far as kind of boomer bands go. But like, yeah, they've got so many classics and like hits, even from like 2021. Even like it wasn't 2021. When did Attention drop? 2018.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a hit and a half. But like even then, like they've been around for a while, and then like almost 2 decades into their career, they drop one of their biggest albums to date. Great, cap it off, tour on that forever. Nope, another 18-track album that's gonna disappear into the ether. Oh, you're right, Jacob. That shit pisses me off. Not actually, but like if I want to go see Shinedown, I'm gonna go see them for like a specific 10 songs and a couple filler here and there. I don't care what was on their 18-track album they released like 25 years into their career. But they, nope. Man, I got beef with the scene. This pisses me off. I'm getting more jaded as the years go on. I don't know if it's just my old age or what, but like I'm starting to get like old man yells at cloud. Yeah.
We're all getting old.
What's happened to us? I've passed
Justin,
the ripe
what's
old age
happening
of 25.
Our bones are getting old. Transition! Justin, please!
Bones by These Four Walls.
All I saw was just the back of the door. I'm holding on, if just a little bit longer. 'Cause you bring the...
So wise. His words.
The great sage.
Vocally, this song is
These Four Walls.
fantastic.
It's pretty good. They've been kind of drip feeding stuff since 2022 technically. My favorite song from them since has been Carousel. They had an album back in 2020, and I'm really surprised they haven't like dropped anything regarding it, any like new album or whatnot. Because all these songs are pretty good. I think Bones is it's essentially what you get for These Four Walls. I don't think it's treading any boundaries, but you really don't need it to. It sounds good. I liked the like the breakdown of sort toward the end was pretty good. This was one of the ones I really didn't give too much time on, but I threw it in because we hadn't talked about this band in a bit. So
Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this one either. I just listened to it for the first time earlier today, but I was impressed with it, especially vocally. Really, really solid. Quintessential post-hardcore.
mm-hmm. Definitely recommend their 2020 album if you haven't given it a listen already. Some of my favorite songs from them. White Lies and Bravery, I have constant rotation, so I definitely recommend that album.
I thought I remembered that album cover, which is weird because it's not all that unique, but like for whatever reason, like I remember listening to that album, and that was like one of the years I listened to like 400 albums too. So it was like, yeah, I remember the album art for my 270th album of the year. Like I don't,
wild.
I don't even think it's 4 walls, is it? Is it 4 squares? Let me look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it is. Well, there you go.
I think it's like
clever.
rooms stacked on one another of sort.
Oh, it could be walls.
It could be.
It could be 4 walls. Let me have this.
Anything is a wall if you try hard
True.
enough.
Squint hard enough.
Just like how everything is an Xbox.
I don't get it.
What?
Microsoft tried to
right?
like push that like anything like everything is an Xbox. Like that was their marketing campaign like last year.
It was
or
a marketing
something.
campaign back in the Xbox One era.
I don't get it.
Feels like that's a bad way to sell your PCs. What if I want a PC and not an Xbox? But my PC is an Xbox. What then?
Yeah. Well, why would you not?
What am I
want an
supposed to do,
Xbox?
Jake? Tell me!
Why would you not want an Xbox? Microsoft, like it's Microsoft. Like, of course you want an Xbox, right?
That is true.
Consume.
I have never owned an Xbox.
You are
so I did not
consumer.
I want
You
a
need to
Wii.
consume the Xbox through the Wii.
I want a GameCube and a Wii.
You got it.
I think-
Wait, like actually, like, do you have a Wii? No.
At my parents' house, yeah.
Man, you gotta get the Wii going, man.
My friend, he collects like a whole bunch of different like retro video games. I think he has 4 GameCubes in like different colors.
Dang.
That's cool.
I want
Spare
the-
arms to the
I have
poor.
0.
Arms to the poor. That's what I'm saying, man. Get me in there. It's a
I want the
miracle my
analog
DS still works.
3D, the analog N64 with like HDMI output and all that.
Yo, real talk, they were building those DSIs different back in the day. My DS, like, I've had my phone for like 4 years now, and my DSI from
That's
2010 now has a longer battery life than my phone. Even
That's
though, like, I don't
true.
charge it for like years on end. I don't know how it's happening. Like, it's that system was built different, bro. I'm gonna have to like hold a funeral the day it dies. It's gonna be like the DSI of Theseus. I'm just gonna keep buying spare parts, put it back together until it finally quits.
I have the DS Lite and the 3DS, like the original 3DS.
I gotta use mine. I bought it so I could play the like 3D Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and then I like never used it again. I don't think I bought a single other 3DS game. It's kind of like how I bought my Switch to play Smash and then didn't turn it on for another like 4 years. Like I don't.
Oh, wise
Anyway.
Justin, bring it to the next thing.
Grand Elder.
Yeah. We've got Galleons and Valiant Hearts dropped singles in correlation with a B-Sides EP dropping in July. The first single is a Galleons demo titled Thorns.
Don't let your thorns get in the way. I'll pull 'em out, I'll pull 'em out.
I did
So,
not
since
listen to
this
these
came-
because I
yeah.
wanted context. Because like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always missing lore with this band, so I'm gonna wait for you to tell me what I need to know.
Yeah, essentially these are demos that never would have set the light of day. But there's so much that's they're still working on the new Galleons album. So they thought during that time to put out an EP and combined it with some Valiant Hearts demos. So Thorns was written back in 2021, 2022. So it's got a little bit of self-titled energy thrown in. A little bit of the previous album as well. It's crazy that they would have scrapped this because I think this is like considered. This could be like one of their better songs. It's pretty good.
I saw that this was coming with the album announcement in July and decided I'm just going to wait until July to listen to both of these. So I will report back with my thoughts on these songs then.
Yeah. Because these are technically B-sides, the production isn't quite as high as the previous works. It's still mixed and mastered. Chris Crummett has still mastered these, so they still are good. But Thorns, I don't think is one of my favorite Galleon songs, but I liked it. I still put it on and listened to it quite a bit this month. I think I liked it more than the Valiant Heart single, which is Can't Fear Your Own World.
When I'm no longer around, all the world collapse and fall down. Left us to fend for ourselves in the aftermath. Are you proud?
Before we talk about the Valiant Hearts song, Derek, who is that friend on your shoulder right now?
Oh,
What
this
is
is Phil. It's a capybara. It's a Webkins.
Yeah.
I got a Webkins at the store the other day.
I remember
Oh,
those.
that's so cute.
Yeah.
I
See, but
had so many Webkins growing up.
they like. Do you guys remember how the Webkins used to have that like hairy kind of texture to them? Like it was
Yeah.
kind of fringy. They don't do that anymore. So there's like this.
Do they still
new,
the paw print?
Yeah. Bang.
Nice.
But there's Webkins. You can get the classic version, or you can do Webkins next. And like my niece and my nephew, so my sister's like 28, so she was around for Webkins, and she got them into it because you can get a pet for free now if you want to play classic mode. Like they'll just let you adopt one for free. So they're all playing it. My nephews and my niece. And I wanted to go visit them, so I'm like, oh, well, I'll get a Webkins and I'll dress them up and I'll decorate my house like I used to, type of deal. Yo, I had like 30 Webkins back in the day. Okay, this was serious
Same.
business. I was all up in that shit, and I found out you can't go visit people's houses in the Legacy version anymore because it's like so
What?
old. I know. So now don't get me. I'm still spinning that wheel of WoW. Okay, I'm still welcomed at the curio shop, and he hopes he finds what I'm looking for. All right, but I wanted to go visit my nephew's house and for him to come over and be like, wow, Uncle Derek, your shit is so dripped out. And be like, yeah, I know. Like, what do you think this is? I gotta pimp out Phil's room. But nah, it's still a banger. If you guys want to like relive some nostalgia, play some Webkins, it's free to do.
Dude,
You
I
can
should-
get a
I
free
should do
Did I
tab.
that.
log
I
into
should
my
do
account?
I tried. It had been more than 7 years since I logged into mine. Probably closer to like 15, so they deleted me. So if you haven't been in a while, I know, it was so sad. I really tried.
Oh, it's
I tried to get
gone.
my
It's
Dragon Veil
gone.
account back too. Y'all ever play
Dude.
Dragon Veil? Like on the iPod or anything like that? Oh man, that shit was a classic. I used to have my dragons working overtime.
My first
Deleted that shit.
Webkin was a chocolate lab, and his name was Bowser.
That's awesome. I was a monkey and I named him
My
Monkey
first
Man.
Webkins was a black and white cat, and I named it Charlie, and I still have it.
Hell yeah.
It is
That is a
sitting
good
on
one.
my bed frame at my dad's house.
I had the black
I
and
got a
white
whole
cat
bag
too,
of them
actually.
somewhere.
I named it Meow Mix.
That's awesome.
Alright.
Most of mine were like named when I was semi-literate, and that's how we ended up with Monkey Man. And like, I think I got my first one was a yellow lab, but I didn't know what a Webkins was, so I tore the tag off because I thought it was a price tag. But I named him Joey because he was blonde, and Joey Wheeler from Yu-Gi-Oh was also blonde, so I figured he could just be Joey. Joey Wheeler. Anyway, sorry. Go
Anyways,
on.
about this
I'll just let
Valiant
you
Hearts
go.
song.
Yeah. Oh, it was good. It I think was removed off of the most recent album because I think it was a demo in 2023. Listening to it now with the context of the album, I can see it being removed. I don't think adding it would have. I don't think it was missing on the album, so mixed instead of separated it, but it's still good. It's got there's decent verses here. Chorus didn't really connect with all that much. But it's still pretty good. You know, Valiant Hearts, Galleons, Tom Byrne. I'm forever stuck to whatever he puts out, so it is what it is. Yeah, I really enjoyed these. Except for the EP. Because it's
Yeah.
more Tom Byrne.
I think I'm more likely to enjoy these songs in context of like a bigger release than just as standalone singles. So
Yeah, I mean
Exactly.
they're together in the EP, so you're not missing anything by listening to them now.
Cool. All right, let's talk about a song that caught me off guard this month that I was not expecting to enjoy as much as I did. Like Moths to Flames have put out I Don't Want to Be Here Anymore.
You can leave if you want.
Oh shit, he's
No,
gone.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. So I have a playlist called I'm Fucking Pissed. And it is reserved for the heaviest and angriest songs in my playlist. This is the first song of 2026 to make the cut for that playlist. There have been a number of heavy songs that I've heard this year. I think a great example would be Hivemind by Knocked Loose. It's a really heavy song, but to me, it's not the I'm fucking pissed energy that I'm looking for that playlist. This song is the I'm fucking pissed energy that I am looking for with that playlist. This is the type of song that it is just unrelenting aggression instrumentally and also lyrically and vocally as well. Just like a desperate cry for help. And it is not a fun song to listen to by any means, but it is so powerful in the message that it is trying to convey that I couldn't help but just go back to it a lot throughout the course of the month. Just, I don't know, I found it to be a really compelling song and one of my most played songs of the month.
I think
delivery,
Mm-hmm.
before you say your thing, the delivery on if everything we love gets taken from us, was I never loved by anyone? And then like a slow pause before it was never enough into that final breakdown. Like, oh my God, dude.
There's so many moments like that on here. It's ridiculous. I really liked, I guess it's less of a delivery thing, but after the I fucking die every day of my life, that like kind of really high-pitched wail of a guitar tone is something that I thought was really unique, especially for like the tone of the song.
NVTURES produced this song.
Really?
Interesting.
He's been producing a lot of stuff recently, I feel like.
I did not know that, and I feel like that explains things. Because I was going to say, I think this is my favorite
like
Moth song.
Actually, now that it kind of, old plot is kind of like that, actually. With the guitar.
I haven't heard anything prior to Dispose, but maybe I'll have to give some of that older stuff a listen. But I was going to say that this is, I think, my favorite Moth song since that 2021 EP with Ameliorate.
That was valid. You know what? I'm going to echo that. I think it's mine, too. There were some songs off that album last year that I enjoyed, but, like, this, to me, is the most, like, quintessential, like Moths to Flames song ever. It's pissed off. It's, like, it's edgy, but in a way that's not cringy. I feel like Moths to Flames does that sort of lyrical content really well, that it's like, oh, like, I want to die, but it's like real. Like, you feel it. It's visceral. Like, look, okay, I'm going to be so for real. There are a lot of people in the scene right now that be singing about depression and shit, and it sounds like the fakest, most corporate slop of all time, right? And, like, I'm sorry you're going through that, but at least write in a way that's compelling. And I feel like Moths to Flames executes that kind of, like, they're just, like, I guess to your point, Jake, they just sound pissed. They're like, they're going through mental health and they're pissed at the world while they're dealing with it, and it really translates well. There's no band that does it like them. I guess maybe to that point, plot points too, but I like this.
On a upcoming EP in September.
They love an EP, bro. They love an EP. Although it's usually like only a year after dropping an album, though, so I guess I can't complain. Better that than a deluxe.
No, Cycles of Trying to Cope was 2024.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Time.
Oh man,
I was
dude,
gonna say
every episode this happens to me. I gotta get my brain right, bro. This is crazy. I'm going through it every time.
I was gonna say on the topic of like Moths To Flames, like quintessential pissed off. I did not like most of that last album, and I think it's like that's kind of why this song caught me so off guard. That I typically don't like this band when they're at their heaviest like this, but every once in a while they drop a song that is brutally heavy and just fucking pissed, and it just clicks for me. And this is one of those songs that it just clicks for me. Not every Moth song is gonna click for me, but this one sure as hell did. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum sonically, maybe, just about, Holding Absence have released brand new song Reflection off of upcoming album Modern Life is Lonely, coming out in August.
I can never find a cure. Open the doors and let me in. I'm ready to hurt and heal again. I'll never.
I'm really excited for this album, man.
Yeah.
That's what you said last time.
That is true. I didn't love that album. I mean, it was good, but yeah, man. Don't remind me of that. Fuck you.
I am way more optimistic about this Holding Absence album than I was with the last one. Whisper of a Dream and Reflection is a 1-2 punch. Is like, this shit's gonna be peak. Like, I have never had more faith in Holding Absence than today, June 1st, 2026.
I don't know.
I think, yeah. Well, I think for me, their like willingness on each of these singles to have some sort of like electronic element in the background, like even like part of the drums on here, like it's very like the I think it's the snare. It's either the hit or the snare. I don't know. I don't play the drums, and I'm not I'm not involved enough to know. But there's some part of that that's very like quintessential to drum and bass, and I feel like they use that in the first verse, along with a bit more of the backing electronics. And that's been a piece that I felt would always, like, if this band, with how atmospheric they can get and those powerful soaring moments, if they leaned into electronics a little bit more, like, they would have something where they're cooking. And so far with these singles, they've been leaning into that, even if just a little bit. And it's enhanced so much of their sound. It's ridiculous. That's what makes me hopeful, and why I wish you hadn't reminded me of how I felt going into that last album cycle. Because it's
I'm being very cautious with this.
That is true. We have to learn to trust again.
Yeah.
There were some good non-singles on the album, but it definitely didn't live up to the hype.
I don't know. This song feels very generic to me. I don't know why. It's like okay to me.
Yeah, I can see.
I think for Holding Absence, it isn't breaking any real new boundaries for them.
Yeah.
I just really resonated with the instrumentation and lyrically and vocally in the chorus that I'm ready to hurt and heal again. I'll never find myself in the end if I don't learn to love my own reflection. Just going from a song like I Don't Want to Be Here Anymore, which is so just fucking pissed off, like viscerally angry, to this song of just wanting to love yourself again. I feel like they executed on that message really well, and Lucas's vocals really just emphasize that uplifting message that this song is trying to convey, and that really connected with me.
That is one thing, I guess, about a Holding Absence album. There's always going to be something I feel like to connect to. They always have lyrics that like will be moving. So we'll see. We'll see where it lands, but I'm hopeful that if all of the lead singles have had this sort of extra electronic piece to them, I'm hoping that means that the rest of the album also leans that direction, in which case we're probably in for something very special. But we'll see.
I hope so. I desperately want this to be the Holding Absence album that I'm like flawless, no notes. It's like I'm waiting for Holding Absence to drop the flawless album, and this could be it. This could be it for me. Obviously, I've been burned before, but I'm hoping
I
not.
think we all have.
It's true. Which feels fucked up because the albums, like, they have these concepts and lyrical content, and, like, it feels like they should all be, like, front to back, flawless albums, and you listen to it, and you're like, huh, I'm kind of bored around track 6, low-key. Like,
Yeah.
One of these
Tough.
days.
Up next, we have not heard from this band in a long-ass time, like 4 or 5 years, I think.
Yeah, it's been about that. Painting Promises have dropped their new single Pain and Chances off an upcoming album, dropping, I think, later this year.
To say goodbye, I can't trust I'll be alright.
Very cool. I did not know that they were doing an album. I just thought that they like decided to be like, hey guys, we still exist. Here's a song.
Yeah, I think they're either nearly done or the album is like in the finishing stages. So, they did say more was coming after this. So, this song's really good.
Yeah, I think Painting Promises are one of those like underrated post-hardcore bands that kind of fall into that like higher pitched vocal delivery class of, I think Holding Absence is a fair comparison, Sweeping with Sirens. There's definitely other bands in that sort of niche that I can't think of right now, but
I mean, Colorblind.
Yeah, Colorblind, that's a great example. Yeah, like Painting Promises fit right in with any of those bands that we just mentioned. Super underrated. Very happy to have them back with this song. It's hitting that emotional chord that they hit with every song that they release.
Yeah, even like going back to the releases from like 2020 with Wait and 2021 with Chasing Shadows, this feels like they didn't leave.
Yeah.
Like it's still got their sound, but it's got an air of polish to it that is very, very good. I really like these guys. I'm glad to see them back. They were one of the bands that I was concerned when they weren't putting out, like, when we weren't getting updates. Like, you know, the vocalist Angel, I think he's in another band that was working on stuff in the midst, but they had teased coming back for a little bit, but good to see they're back now. A resurgence, you could say.
True. Future Palace have dropped the 4th single for their upcoming album Resurgence. New single, Resurge. Guys, is it the year of the Future Palace album of the year for me? I feel like there might be, for me, I feel like Future Palace might be due for an album of the year. And I'm feeling pretty damn good about this stretch of singles so far. This song is fantastic. Vocally, I honestly, this is maybe Maria's best vocal performance to date on any song. The high notes that she hits on the chorus of just saying resurge at the end of the chorus is unbelievably impressive and beautiful. And then the lows that she hits in the breakdown as well, on top of just like the more neutral singing voice that she has in the verses, just one of the most talented vocalists in the genre right now. And this song shows the entire range of her capability. Yeah, I mean, between this song and the last few singles, Supernova, Deep Blue, and Cyclone, I would say this album cycle already is a higher peak than Distortion had from 2024. And if any of the singles, any of the non-singles on this album are as good as these singles, like, this is without a doubt on track to be one of my favorite albums that I've heard in 2026.
Is it going to change your opinion knowing that the first 3 songs of the album are all singles currently?
No.
And the closer is also a single.
Yes, I'm already aware of all of that.
Yeah, Deep Blue is the opener, and
Deep Blue is the opener, which is the only thing that gives me pause, because Deep Blue is my least favorite of the 4 singles. It's still a good song. It's just my least favorite. And Cyclone being the lead single as the closer, not my favorite thing in the world, but I see a world in where Cyclone really hits as the closer with how gnarly that breakdown is. So like, knowing the opener and closer has not lost hope for me with this album.
I didn't
Maria's
know
too
that, so I
talented.
just took Cyclone out of my playlist, so I don't hear it anymore. So I can kind of save myself for the album.
Good idea.
Yeah, in a similar way to Holding Absence, like, there's another band. I feel like there's been a lot of bands this year that have really just been nailing the single rollout. Sachi 6, which we'll be talking about that album soon. Against the Current have dropped 2 singles so far this year for an upcoming album. Holding Absence and now Future Palace are just on an absolute tear with these single rollouts. And I really hope that they all stick the landing, because God, I want them so badly to stick the landing and to be just incredible. Takes us to our final single of the month. Jacob, it's you.
James Lee has released Circles. Which thanks to Lurk for showing us this guy.
True.
So-
Yeah. I was going to mention
Yes.
that. He showed us this guy in our group chat, and James Lee had a banger song from last year. What was it called? I need to figure this out. I don't remember.
Reverse is the one I have saved.
Yeah, I think it's Reverse. I think it's
Yeah, I think so.
Reverse. Yeah, I think that's it. Really cool song, and this song is also really cool.
This isn't really I kind of wanted to put this here because, not because I actually like absolutely love the song. I enjoy the song, but it's like not my favorite of his. But I think I mentioned it. I can't remember when I mentioned it. It was sometime this year that I've been looking for Korean metal, and this is one of the closest things I could.
Yeah,
It's not. He's a Korean guy who lives in LA, so it's not. I mean, he used to be in like a K-pop group or something, but yeah, I'm still on the hunt, but one step closer.
I'll
First step
get
in
you
the right
there.
direction.
I'll work
If
my
there's
way
anybody
that
who
way.
can find
It's
it
not,
for you,
and not
Justin.
Cinesnake. Cinesnake is the
Yeah.
because I don't.
When I saw the name, I forgot we'd already like mentioned him before in our
did we?
conversations outside the podcast.
Outside.
Yeah, I looked at the name. I read Jacob Lee as like the EDM vocalist, because his song like Demons, I think, was one that I really liked back in the day. And I listened to this, I was thrown off by it because I was reading that name instead.
funny.
But this is good.
This is really good. This feels like it's ready for Octane. I don't know if it's on Octane.
Mm-hmm.
This very easily could be on Octane. The
And his-
Octane stamp.
I
of
actually don't
approval.
know. Does he have a band or is it just him?
I think it's just him, as far as I'm aware.
That's pretty cool.
All right, we got a couple of EPs and albums to talk about, as mentioned at the top of the episode. 3 EPs. Let's get started with a new artist that I recently discovered who just put out his debut EP. Lisp has released Bad Behavior. We've got 6 songs here, and this is one of the most consistent EPs I've heard all year. Front to back, really, really fun energy. I am going to shill this EP as for fans of Rain City Drive, Point North, and South Arcade. That's kind of the sphere that we're working with, of like post-hardcore with Y2K pop punk influences spread across the album, and some lyricism like that as well. Most notably on songs like Sex with Benefits and Figure It Out. The EP opens with Favorite Regret, which is by far my favorite song on this EP. Extremely catchy song. Probably the most South Arcade-esque song on this EP, which is why which was the first song of his that I heard, and is probably a big reason why it's been my favorite. I've been in love with everything South Arcade has been doing over the past year, and to get a guy kind of doing this Y2K modern pop punk sort of style is something that I've desperately been looking for, and this is one of the best executions of it that I've seen in recent memory anyway. Yeah, Favorite Regret is fantastic, but then you get further down the track list and it's just really catchy front to back. Every single song on here, the chorus is a bit of an earworm. And while the songs, like, lyrically they aren't anything special, it's your kind of stereotypical pop punk checklist talking about relationships and depression and anxiety and being left behind and yada yada yada. But I mean, just sonically, I just had a ton of fun with this EP. I'm gonna say, I mentioned the three bands kind of as influences. Maybe Tomorrow, I think, is the song where I get the most influence from Rain City Drive. Reminds me a lot of their debut album, To Better Days. So if you're gonna, if you haven't heard of Lisp before, I would recommend to start with either Favorite Regret as the opener to this EP, my favorite song on here, or give maybe Tomorrow a listen. Probably the most post-hardcore, least pop punk influenced song on here. And also the song that sounds the most like Point North's 2020 album, Brand New Vision, to me as well. So yeah, overall, just a lot of influences from bands that I really like are shining across this EP. And it was an EP that I just went back to quite a bit throughout the month. I highly recommend giving this a listen. Sitting at around 30,000 monthly listeners right now. Super underrated. That's kind of my spiel on that one. I didn't expect any of you guys to listen to this. I know that time was very limited for most of us this month. So
I did listen to it. I don't really have anything to say though.
Yeah, I don't have too much other to add.
I am interested to listen to Favorite Regret, if nothing else. But
Justin, you've got these next two EPs here.
Yeah, Alt have put out their EP Nevermore. I didn't know the score was featured on an EP, but Blood and Wine is probably the closest we're ever going to get to the score song again.
Interesting. I did not get that at all.
I got that before the announcement that they were disbanding. It really clicks as the score song.
All right, I'm listening to it right now. I'll report back in 3 minutes.
I think it's just the opening verse, just how the run for the verse and the lyrics go. I think that's what clicks for me. The CP is great. Like, I think for me, it's carried by the first two singles, or the first two songs, 27-3 and Blood and Wine. I've been constantly playing those all month, mixed with some of the songs from the other EP that I'll be talking about after this. But this EP in general is great, front to back, honestly.
This EP to me is another one similar to the Frenia song. It's an EP that I listened to and I'm like, wow, that's a lot better than I was expecting. And then it just had very little lasting impact on me. But every time that I have gone back to it, literally any of the 6 songs on here, I'm like, wow, that's like a really good post-hardcore song. I always respect what this band does because while they do they're in that like post-hardcore with metalcore influence kind of sphere, they always have such a unique production to the instrumentation and vocals that really makes them stand out amongst the genre. Especially on songs like Passage and They've All Lived in the Castle, which were 2 singles and probably 2 songs that I've connected with the most. Just the production and mix of the vocal is so unique, and every time that I listen to this band, it is instantly recognizable because of that. So I have to give respect to that where it's due. I really want to spend more time with this EP going forward because I think there's a lot to like here. And now that I've listened to Blood and Wine for not the entire song, I've listened to most of it. I get what you're saying about the score or the opening, but I don't know. With the production and mix and like the heavier guitars, I don't really see it, but like I kind of see it now.
It's kind of closer to like prior the score songs, but that was my connecting point. It is also important to know that this is the last EP with this vocalist, because this vocalist left like 2 weeks later. So they will have a new vocalist when they put out new stuff.
We will see how
Interested to see how that'll sound. To our point earlier, I guess, of certain bands having an identity instrumentally and then losing their vocalist, not being able to continue on. I don't know.
I feel like
where
this band does
will land.
have an instrumental identity, or at least maybe not with the instrumentals, but with the mix and the production.
That is
like,
true.
I feel like Alt is going to be able to steer and recover from losing their vocalist here. Obviously, a blow to the band, but I don't think that they're going to fall off in the way that some other bands fall off after losing a vocalist.
That is true. Abeyance, in particular, as an album, did have a very, I don't know if unique's the right word, but distinct production to it. Every time it would come on in a playlist, I'd be like, oh, yep, that's an Alt song, like without even hearing it. So, yeah, I feel you.
Nothing on here manages to eclipse ADD, which is my favorite song of theirs. But it's solid across the board. I want to give a special shout out to They've Always Lived in the Castle, track 5 on this EP. For being just a really unique name for a song. It's just a line in one of the verses. And I feel like, honestly, that's part of why it's been so memorable for me, because, like, what other song is out there that's called They've Always Lived in the Castle? So, I don't know. There's some songs that have really obscure song names that end up kind of fading into obscurity because the song name isn't memorable, but there's something about They've Always Lived in the Castle that stuck with me, and I have to respect that.
All right, next EP I've got for you all is a new band that we're going to be talking about for the podcast, Constellations, with their EP Witness.
I'm like 90% sure there's another band called Constellations that used to exist back in 2020 that I listened to like 1 or 2 songs from, and this is definitely not that same band, for what it's worth.
Are you sure it's not the August Burns Red album?
I haven't listened to that August Burns Red album, so I'm not sure.
That's their best album too.
Anyway, Justin, you were kind of shilling for this band quite a bit over the past few weeks since you discovered them. Specifically, Liquid Memory, if my mind is correct.
Yeah, Liquid Memory, not being my favorite single of the month, is probably my favorite song of the month. I think it's the song.
It's a fantastic song.
The most.
It's a really good song.
It's so good.
It kind of reminds me of Varsity in a way. Am I crazy for that?
Kind of. I think Varsity has a particular sound to it that I don't think really connects with this. I think the industrial sound kind of separates it from other bands. Like I'm struggling to think of a band to compare it to as like for fans of. Sure. But yeah, this was an Instagram ad for their song, I think it was Witness. And I saw the EP drop this month. I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Ve Victus, wonderful opening song to this. It really encapsulates their sound. I think it's got the cleans that really kind of set it apart. The uncleans that blend it well together. All to lead into probably my favorite song of the month, Liquid Memory. That just opening portion where his cleans comes in for the opening lyrics. If we are to stay whole, don't release me from this chokehold. And just how it blends, it's incredible. My my favorite part of this song is probably the ending portion where the chorus changes from the lyrics "as I bleed" to "as I feed," and that just lyrical shift I think really does it for me. Chaos Control is another one of my favorite songs from this EP. I definitely didn't play it as much as the other two, but I really liked where this went. The uncleans of Wasted Time and Anadonia, I think, kind of separated me from them, and I really didn't go back to them all that much. Witness was good, but I think the blend between the uncleans and cleans for me just didn't connect me as much as the first three songs in this EP. So it's got a really good half of what I like in an EP. I definitely have to go back and listen to this more in full, but I've kind of just been really re-listening to Liquid Memory a lot this month.
From what I can gather, you adding this EP into the playlist is like me adding that FKA Rain EP just to talk about Sinking House like 2 months ago. Just like an EP that's good across the board, but there is one just clear standout song on here, and I think I'm with you. Liquid Memory is fantastic. Going from Liquid Memory as the first song of this band that I'd heard, and then checking out Anhedonia as the second single, definitely caught me off guard with how much heavier it was.
It was a bit of a whiplash. But yeah, as a whole, I think this has a really good pace to it. It's 6 songs, less than 30 minutes. It's really good.
Very impressive for a
in and
debut
out.
EP.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of debuts, let's go into albums. We got Nature's Ghost dropping their debut album, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
I don't have to fuck goodbye.
Once again, I need to reiterate that the Thousand Blow influence on this band is very obvious to me. Every time we talk about them, I have to bring it up, especially in the harsh vocal tones. It sounds so similar to James DeBerg to me. It just does. And that's a compliment.
I can see that.
I don't think anybody here thought being compared to James DeBerg was an insult, bro. I gotta keep it a set with you. I don't think.
No.
I was watching
I don't
Jacob's
hear
face to
it,
see if he
though.
agreed with it.
I hear it. No, I can totally hear it. At least on the uncleans. And I think that sonically, right, like more so than vocally, I don't know if that's an influence for them, but Nature's Ghosts are another one of those bands that they wear their influences on their sleeve, but it really does feel like they're carving their own niche, so to speak. I will say I do hear a lot of like the songs off of what is it? It's Posthuman Next Gen, that last Bring Me album.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Like R.I.P. in particular would be a good comparison for some of the tracks on here. I like Die For You. But they also, like we mentioned, a couple different artists bringing in those K-pop influences. There's a lot of K-pop. There's a lot of hyperpop on here. I hear some break-ins on certain songs here. They do a great job of repurposing certain...
I haven't heard that name in so long.
Right? Oh, break-ins to a glaive? No, I will also say I am a sucker for both like vocal splices and repitched vocals, and they employ those repitched vocals masterfully on here. It's well done without sounding too whiny. I appreciate the way that they like sample it a little bit on Copium.
While we're on the topic of sampling stuff in Copium,
yeah,
the little like synth bit in like after like the breakdown and the chorus is the same exact synth bit of Renovate by Until I Wake. It's the same, like that like kind of ambient sort of electronic. I don't know what the hell to call it, but it is the exact same thing, and it bothered me way too much for like 20 minutes until I made that connection.
Shit, now okay, I'll have to go listen to that. I mean, I know the song you're talking about, but to make that comparison.
The songs sound completely different, because Renovate is like a very soft and somber, almost ballad, and Copium is a very heavy song But that one little instrumental synth break bit was like, I've heard that before. I know I have heard that before.
There was also a point on here that it sounded like a Starset song now that you say that, and I can't remember which part it was, but it was Brave New World by Starset, that like violin strings part in the main riff. It might have been on Bending. I'm not sure. But no, again, we make all these comparisons to say that I think Nature's Ghosts do a great job of drawing influences from multiple different spheres, whether it be in our scene or outside of our scene, and making something that's very uniquely their own. I think I really enjoyed Holding On to You, which I first read as Holding On to Uwu, and have not stopped seeing it that way since then, and have just renamed that song officially in my head from here on out. But I think that song in particular brings everything that Nature's Ghost has to offer together into one package. But I could easily, or just as easily, say that about something like 6 Feet Further from God. I'm something of a kaiju myself. Like all these things, these different... Their music is quirky enough to justify the song titles. I think that's something where like some bands kind of fall short.
I think,
and they like want to be special.
Bring Me has kind of normalized this too now.
Thank God. I love this. Give me more personality in songs. That is one big thing in all the corporate sounding music out there. More personality, much appreciated.
The time of like early 2000s with really long ass.
No, I don't miss that.
Titles. No, I do. I do. The Panic at the Disco album, their debut album with like the really long titles, I kind of miss it.
What's that one Broadway song featuring Johnny Craig? Oh yeah, Don't Jump the Shark Before You Save the Whale. And the song before that, Meg Ryan would play you in the movie. Like I like those tracks. Same thing we do every day.
I have an
Pinky.
answer for silliest, longest song name that I know of.
All right. Hit me with
Adam Jensen. You guys might recognize that name from the good old UHC Highlights days. He was all over UHC Highlights back in the day. But he has a song called You Won't Answer My Phone Calls, but I bet you'll listen to this song, so I guess this is the only way to talk to you. That's the
I was like
song.
Fucking
The
old
opener
school
of,
Panic at the Disco with There's a Good Reason These Tables are numbered, honey, and you just haven't thought of it yet. Love it.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to really quickly, because I forgot about From Under the Cork Tree. There's a 3-song on here. Our lawyer made us change the name of this song so we wouldn't get sued. I slept with someone in Fall Out Boy, and all I got was this stupid song written about me. And Get Busy Living or Get Busy Dying, parentheses, do your part to save the scene and stop going to shows.
It's like the old Bill Murray song titles from like 400 Pound Back Squat.
And the Bill Murray comparison is exactly what I wanted to draw for this album, because there are so many bands that put out, they'll put like a 7-8 track album out, and they all sound the fucking same, and it's boring. It's like, well, cut a song and make it an EP, just call it an EP, or give me 3 more tracks and make it an album. And I love this like style of 7-8 song album that has personality like Bill Murray used to do. That I don't know, this is something that I feel like has really been missing. I don't know if bonus song in Cure is a part of the song title, or if it's a bonus song. It's like one of those, they've got so many other quirky song titles on here that I don't know. But I thought it worked pretty good as a closer, if I'm being honest with you.
It's a really good closer. It's one of my top 3 of the album. I really liked Bending, but I went back and listened to Cure before the podcast, and I really liked it.
Are we in agreement that GN and Goodbye is still the best song on here?
It's my least favorite song on the album.
Brother.
And it's not even bad. Trust me. I think it sounds a lot.
Quick, you were
Sigh. It's so
sorry.
typical.
Sorry,
It's so typical.
Dude, it's you and me, man. It's not, look, I like it too. It reminds me of a little bit, it's like a combination of that one Nothing Nowhere album where he decided to make post-hardcore and a little bit of Bring Me too. But no, I like it. It's just, I feel like the rest of the songs on this album have more personality, and when that's what I'm kind of looking for from this band, I feel like that's what makes me lean into those two. Plus, it has the least amount of repitched vocals. I'm telling you, Jake, the more repitched vocals, the better. I've shifted from more electronics, more better. Bands are getting the memo.
Okay,
I need
so
them to start repitching their vocals.
Let's go one track down. Dystopian Noroi. What's the take on that song?
Love that song. It's great.
It's my least favorite song.
I hate you, Jake. You, this fucking guy, man. I couldn't tell if it was like sort of like an interlude or if it was his own thing, but I really liked it for whatever it was, whatever you want to call it. Like some people will say an 8-track album isn't an album. A 1 minute 51-second song could be an interlude. It could not be.
Dystopian, my opinion here. Dystopian Noroi did not make it all the way through puberty. It is not a fully developed song. It is not a fully developed song. The song did not finish production. It is not long enough. It needed more.
Well, then call me Drake, because I like it despite the fact that it hasn't finished puberty.
No,
I don't like it.
I don't know.
I don't like this context.
Dystopian Noroi has the potential to be a really good song, but I just found it the most underwhelming song on here.
That's fair. I don't know. There's so much to like on this album that I feel like, yeah, any one song could be your least favorite. It's like, yeah, that's my favorite too. It's just there's something to like at each of these, and I feel like that's something that this album excels at really, is that each song has a very similar vibe, even with like track 2 flowing into track 3, right? Like there's a really good transition there, but each of them have their own identity, such that if you don't connect with one, you might connect with the next one because it's its own entity rather than feeling the same as the last 3 tracks before it. Yeah. I haven't been a bigger fan of the shorter form albums recently, but this really set itself apart. I enjoyed the hell out of this. This is great.
I also just want to mention that I saw they had their first ever headline show out in California with the release of this album, and from what I saw of like the photos and videos of it, they pulled like a decent crowd for it, so good for them.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
They didn't want I guess it's not a tour, it's just a show.
No, yeah, they did some shows with Azera and some other bands of the like.
Do you know what venue it was at? Because I assume because they're from Sacramento, right?
Yeah, it was around the Sacramento area.
Oh man, I wish I would have known what venue it was. That'd be cool. Maybe I've been there. Anyway, I digress.
Can we move on to our next album then?
Do it.
Justin, this one has been a long time coming.
This one I've been waiting for a bit. Beyond Awareness have dropped their album Reflections.
I had my skepticism coming into this album. All doubts have been waved far to the side. This album is phenomenal.
Let's go.
This album is... I have one gripe with this album, and it's that Autopilot as the closer is by far the weakest song on this album. And it is unfortunately really underwhelming note to end this album on.
I mean, that's was my only gripe with this as well. No, well, Autopilot was also like one of the first few singles too, so I had already listened to it already. But yeah, this album's fantastic.
Like, you make this a 9-song album and just get rid of Autopilot and Erosion as the closer, and Erosion totally could work as a closer. And this is like one of the most flawless albums I've heard all year.
It's very good.
As somebody who did not have the chance to listen to this album, I'm hearing that it's a fantastic album, and I'm like waiting for you to sell me on it. And the first thing I'm being told is that the closer kind of sucks. So how about we roll it back a little
Jake
bit?
Because Jake likes to focus on the negatives. Let me talk about it first.
Yes. Great Elder.
This album is fantastic. We talked about Trapped and I think
Take Me Back to Hell.
Take Me Back to Hell. We have talked about those on the podcast. Fantastic. Both of those were greatest singles. Lifeline was one of my top 3 singles of last year. Rerun is featuring the vocalist of Dead by April, which is like one of my bands I somehow keep coming back to, but we never talk about on the podcast. And it's very funny to me. Crime, Inferno, Autopilot, Take Me Back to Hell, and Trapped are all singles, but that it won't matter if you didn't listen to them. this album is fantastic. I really liked the vibe of it. It is a kind of dark metal, kind of industrial, not as industrial as Constellations and Alt are. It's more pop related, but it's got the metal influences. I agree. Erosion as a closer would have been better, but the package that we got, I still think is fantastic. Reflective is a really, really good title track that kind of defines the band. You get like a really slow start, build up to the song, and then about a minute in, everything kicks in. The instrumentation, the vocals soar a bit higher. It's got a really good rhythm to it that I think flows insanely well. I've talked for ages about Lifeline, and I won't go too much into that, but it's still like one of my favorite songs by them. And just how they blend their cleans and uncleans, and that song alone is great. Trapped is probably their best song, I will be honest. Putting it all
saved with Take Me Back to Hell as well.
Putting it all in a package, like, it is still probably their best song. And I think it's just the atmosphere really does it for me. Crime is probably one of their older singles, and while I liked it in the context of the album, I didn't go back too much to it. But I still think it's really good. I think it fits. And Nightfall into Erosion is just a really good kind of transition of tracks. I think you could have shifted this album a little bit and get rid of all the gripes that I and Jake have with this. But overall, it's a phenomenal album. I think, like, take this far and away, we come back to it later this year. And I think this is definitely, for me personally, and definitely a top 10 contender.
To me, this is contender for album most likely to be robbed of my top 10 of this year. I feel very similar to this album as I felt when I heard Varia's album from 2024. I forget what the name of it is, but that album with like Moonlight and Obsidian and that album. In hindsight, that album is so unbelievably good, and I probably should have been in my top 10. I feel very similar about this one, where like I don't know if this is going to make my top 10 at the end of the year, but when I think back to 2026 in next year, in 2 to 3 years from now, I'm going to eventually stumble across Beyond Awareness and be like, oh yeah, that album was really fucking good, huh? Why was it not in my top 10 albums of the year? With my gripe of Autopilot aside, like, this really is just a phenomenal album. Nightfall is definitely my favorite song on here. I feel like it has some of the best electronics on the album, and also one of my favorite instrumental moments in the breakdown, with the lyric of "Their claws dig deep into our minds, a haunting echo we can't leave behind," before it goes into the breakdown. And then you also get a guitar solo as well. I absolutely love Nightfall. It's definitely the song I've gone back to the most, but just to echo everything that Justin has said, like Rerun, Crime, Lifeline especially. I didn't listen to Lifeline outside of editing it into the top 10 songs of the year episode. It lived up to the hype. And Erosion as well is a phenomenal slow build of a song. Really nails it.
Did you?
Yeah, this is
before the album, one of the songs I knew you would probably gravitate toward would be Inferno. What was your thoughts on that?
It's okay. It's not one of my. It's very middle of the road for me. I'd say my top songs on here are Nightfall, Rerun, and then probably Lifeline. Maybe Crime, maybe Erosion is that like third or fourth slot as well. Yeah, no, it's a damn good album. And if you haven't listened to Beyond Awareness, there has never been a better time to give this band a listen.
Yeah. Shout out Finland.
Bro.
Shout out Finland for real.
Well,
Yeah.
tangentially related to Finland, Eurovision just happened. Shout out Romania for nominating a like pop rock post hardcore song and getting 3rd place in Eurovision this year. That shit was awesome.
Hell yeah.
I almost threw it into this month's playlist. Derek, I highly recommend you check it out.
What is it?
I do not ask me how to pronounce her name. It has a bunch of weird symbols in it. But if you look up Eurovision Romania 2026, I think you will like it a lot.
All right, I'm on it.
Anything else you want to mention about Beyond Awareness, Justin?
No, that's it. Again, definitely give this album a spin if you're a fan of rock, metal, post-hardcore, all that sound. Highly recommend.
That takes us to what has been one of my most anticipated albums of 2026 so far, the debut album from Sachi 6, Brutalist. This album is fantastic. I've only listened to it front to back once, and I really need to give it another full listen. Because I remember that so many of the songs transitioned into one another, and it was a really cool listen for that first listen. But I came out of that first listen being underwhelmed. I think I had set my expectations a little too high, and I was expecting this to be like a year-defining album, like a top 10 album of the year, and like high on the list. And the first listen, I came out of it like, it's a good album. I don't know if it's everything I hoped it to be. I think Ego and Covet probably still my favorite songs on here as the 2 lead singles for this album. And everything else, it was like good. And the funny thing is, for how unique of a sound that they have, and for how unique every song on this album does sound, I couldn't help but feel like this album sounded samey. It was a really interesting dilemma that I was in. But now that I've had this album in rotation for a few weeks, I really need to give this another front to back listen, because just about everything on this album has grown on me, with the exception of Dolores in the middle of the album. The opening stretch of Besotted, literally everything other than Dolores is just fantastic to me.
Oh, I'll get
is Dolores, Dolores is your favorite song, is it?
It's in my top 3, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every time.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Dude, this guy, man. There's one slow song on the album. Suddenly, it's fucking the worst thing ever.
Uneven is a slow song, and Uneven is great. We can agree on that.
That is true.
Right?
That
right?
is true.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I think the thing
on that one are not
has
uneven.
grown on me the most, though, is the stretch of the final 3. Nepenthe, Fabulist, Perfidy is a fucking heater to end this album off on. I
feel
was
like you
very
just cursed
skeptical.
my bloodline, bro. You just cast a spell. What was that?
I was very skeptical on, especially Fabulist and Perfidy as closers. I really liked Nepenthe on first listen. You like clicked with me immediately with that heavy vocal, no instrumentation opening. And then I felt like Fabulist and Perfidy kind of just did that, but again, and it didn't really work. But the more I've listened to those songs, I don't know, I've been able to distinguish them from one another, and I really love all 3 of them, which is surprising because coming off of the Limerence EP last year, I didn't like the heavy moments on that album. And now some of my favorite moments on this album are the heaviest moments.
I think that you should need to go back and listen to that EP.
And I did listen to it. I listened to it like fairly recently, just to give it another chance. And I was still, my opinion hasn't changed since I first heard that EP. I was still kind of whelmed by the heavier moments. Really only liked Wake Up and Easy Exit. But this album is fantastic and one of my favorite albums I've heard so far this year.
I really appreciate how this band, and especially on this album, are like, I think their Spotify bio is pop music, and I feel like this is, for all intents and purposes, very, very pop music oriented. Like this is heavy pop. If I had to like take one step further than the Home Team, I would say that this is heavy pop, and I think that because they're leaning into that kind of pop R&B side of things, they are really pushing the limits of how much this kind of smooth, soaring R&B vocal can go over guitars that are at points kind of as down-tuned as they could reasonably be. But it works. I think that they've done a great job of melding those two sounds and riding that boundary without flying too close to the sun. I think, for me, Jake, I'm sorry, I think Besotted and Reverie are probably my two out of the three least favorite songs on the album for me, with Fabulous being the third. And for me, I think that Fabulous, well, they all kind of fall victim to the same thing, in my opinion. And it's that this album, front to back, is fantastic. I'll agree with you there. And I think that when this album is at its strongest is when it's exploring and continuing to push that boundary that they're already pushing by riding that line between pop and heaviness. And for me, I think that the guitars, and I don't know if this is a streaming service issue, but the guitars definitely feel a little compressed on this album. And when they're given space among everything else to really work, like on Basorexia, for instance, Allured, track 4, like there was a moment, I think it was, I had to take a screenshot of it because I was on my phone, yeah. Verse 2, where there's a delivery where he says, so sure of everything, and then there's a pause, and he says, now. And the guitars in particular flow like seamlessly along with his delivery. That, it's working perfect. And then you slow it down on songs like Dolores or Uneven. Great, fantastic. Obviously, we've talked for eons about Ego and Covet, as we should, because they're both fantastic, but they're also very original, I guess would be the way to put it. To me, Besotted and Reverie, because they don't, at least for me, have that single they're both solid songs, but they don't necessarily have a huge standout moment, in my opinion. And because they flow so well into each other, what you end up getting is kind of like 8 minutes to start the album off where I know I'm hearing really good vocals. I'm hearing heavy instrumentation. Oh, here is the unclean section. But the guitar is so compressed and muddy that I don't actually feel like I'm listening to a different song because they haven't switched up the instrumentation in the same way that they do on the rest of the album. And I think Fabulous, my same gripe, is that is like almost all heaviness and guitars, right? And then, so you have a moment to say, okay, well, here are these two main elements, and one of them is super compressed. I don't know if it's an intentional choice, and that's one of the things that, because the production on Limerence, the EP, was super tight, super solid, and there are moments on here where they choose to make that production really tight. And what I've been wondering is that a intentional choice because of the theme of the album? Because like Brutalist? Yeah, like Brutalism, as far as I know, as an art style, is like very gritty, like concrete, like it's sort of in your face type of deal. And I know, at least from that's the other thing, from the lyrics I could understand on the album, they're very personal and they're related a lot to the push and pull mentally and emotionally of a relationship that you've like been out of or like in and out of, and trying to get with maybe somebody else to try and get over those feelings and falling back into that person. I think that was a big thing of Nepenthe. And just that, like, that sort of chaotic and messy emotional hurricane of sorts is like, if that's the theme they're going for and it's supposed to be raw and gritty, then the production becomes an intentional choice, at which point, fair play. But if I'm looking for songs that I want to go back to and playlist and listen to, then I'm not sure that Besotted and Reverie are going to hit that mark in the same way that I feel like the other songs in this album do. But to your point about only having heard it once, I've also only heard it once, and I would be interested to see, as I'm able to delve more into the lyrics and the themes, if that changes my opinion on the opener at all. It did very much for Spirit Box. I hated Fata Morgana as an opener. Turned out it was my album of the year. Who knew? So we'll see with time. But I was hoping that it would be this good after hearing the EP, and other than that one gripe, this is a fantastic album. I mean,
there's also nothing that sounds like it. This is the only place that you're going to get something like this.
110%. They've carved their own niche out. Not dissimilar, but also similar to like a Nature's Ghost. That like, I mean, there's Bring Me in some aspects, but like they've combined influences to be who they are. Sachi 6 have said, let's see just how how low we can tune the guitars on our heavy pop and how high we can get our vocals. How the hell does it work? But it does. Nobody's doing it like them. It's incredible.
One thing we haven't talked about since Spotify's done it is lossless. Have you turned that on? Because you were mentioning like, yeah, you turned that on.
Yeah.
I don't.
Which is
think
why I
have.
think. Oh, you got him, man. It's. I didn't think it would be that much of a difference because I don't use Apple Music, and I'm like, man, but so whatever. Yeah, those Apple Music users weren't lying, man. It's a pretty big difference. It's nice. Yeah, it's not that you can't discern,
especially on your computer. It's like,
why am I getting a call from DoorDash? I didn't order DoorDash. All right, all good, no worries. All right, they're from if they want to drop me off some food, I guess I won't complain. I'll never say no. I didn't order it.
Cookout.
Food. Ah, shit. Cookout is not on DoorDash. Oh my dude, if Cookout was on DoorDash, you don't understand. There are like 2 or 3 high schools in like a 5 to 10 minute proximity of my Cookout. On a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter what time of day or night it is, it's over. You're not getting in that line and taking any less than 20 minutes. If people could DoorDash Cookout, it would be over.
I still don't know why.
Again.
I live less than half a mile. I still don't know why I didn't take you guys there.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. You got a guy who's not from America. You won't take him to the most American establishment.
I took him to Waffle House. What do you mean?
To his credit, Waffle House is a quintessential American station.
Yeah.
I will say.
We also went to Raising
Cane's. So
Yeah.
we went to like a military mall.
What else should we do? Chili's
is a good one.
That place is no longer there because that mall got shut down.
Yeah, that was messed up. Anyway, Jake, do you have anything else that you wanted to mention?
I don't really have too much more to say. The interesting thing about this album for me is that like I like it so much, but I can't really get into too much detail about why I like it so much. Like I haven't really picked out any like super deep lyrical meaning to connect with on this album. There aren't any like particular like choruses or vocal moments that are like, wow, that's like one of the best choruses on the album. Whereas like there are other albums where like I can pick out moments that are like, oh, that's like one of my favorite moments. And this is just like, this is all just fantastic. I think it is a bit of that, like every song is so unique, yet on the whole, the sum of its parts sounds samey, is why I struggle to kind of make that distinction. And I think at the end of the year, that's, if anything's going to hold it back, it's going to be that for me.
Yeah, I will say that, like, even with, I guess, with their previous EP titled Limerence, that, like, if you're at all looking for music to connect to about, like, emotional deprivation, limerence, like, longing, yearning, struggling, I think that this, from what I've been able to pick up, is going to be an album that if you can keep the lyrics up while you listen to it, is going to be something you really connect to. I think that to your point about end of year, I think that, for me, is going to be the part that makes those first 2 songs click. And brings everything back, because I definitely think that I wouldn't go so far as to call it a concept album, but I definitely think there is a world in which the guitar mixing on some of these songs is an intentional choice, in which case my opinion on them will flip heavily. But just from a first listen perspective, it's been difficult to get into those first 2, even though they are good songs. Just the rest of the album for me is just so much better. They really do blend these styles together super well. Nobody's doing it like them.
All right, Jacob, you introduced us to this band last month, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Karmanjakah have released album Diamond Morning.
So I have a funny story with this album, right? Originally, I was going to wait to listen to this album until after we talked about it tonight, just to see, like, just to gauge whether or not I'd actually like it. Because from the 2 songs that I had heard of the singles that we'd talked about, I was like, this is interesting, but I don't know if it's necessarily my style of music, right? So throwback, long tangent kind of ish here, but growing up on Minecraft content, I've been watching the Hermitcraft SMP since I was like 14 years old, basically.
Yeah.
And Izuma has a music blog where he reviews albums, and he reviewed this
he's into
album
metal.
and said this was one of the best albums he's heard all year.
Yeah, he's pretty into metal.
Yeah. So based off of knowing that we were going to talk about it and that Suma of all people reviewed it, I was like, maybe I should give it a listen this afternoon before we record. And so I did. And overall, it's a really solid album. Not like album of the year material for my taste personally, but extremely well done.
I can't believe.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Jacob. I was just going to mention about Zuma.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Jake. I think I like it a little bit more than him, though. I don't think this is album of the year, but it was a very enjoyable listen. It's interesting that in this the vocals kind of take a back seat, which isn't something we normally review.
It's very proggy.
Yeah, I mean we review Era, but anyway. I think psychedelic is the word I'm going to use.
I think that's a good choice.
Where you just it's an experience that while you listen to this album. It's very technical, but it's also like it kind of reminds me of Drift by Era, actually, where it's like there's a lot going on, but it's actually somehow relaxing and it's just I think you maybe lose that a little bit in 1,000 Horns, but because it's very aggressive. But the rest of the album, I don't know if I could differentiate any of the songs, honestly.
Really?
That's one of my gripes with it. It's maybe a little bit samey. My favorite song is still "Eyes Seeing Eyes," the single we talked about last month. Yeah.
So it's interesting that you say that, because I have a similar but opposite kind of gripe, but also reason that I like it. I think for me, because Eyes Seeing Eyes, I agree, is still my favorite. But I think that my favorite moment on the album has to be the main riff in Diamond Train, which I thought was just one of the best riffs easily that I've heard all year. And I agree that front to back this album is you put it perfectly, like a psychedelic experience, and it's very chill, it's very relaxing. There are technical moments on here that I feel like really shine. I wish that there were more of them, because I feel like the moments on here that are truly chill, like a little bit more ambient almost, like with Eyes Seeing Eyes, you get this insane payoff, right? Like about halfway through the song, and it feels like it's building to something. I love some of the slower moments on here. Like I really enjoyed Diamond Art and Sapphire, for instance, as like shorter tracks. But that there are moments on here that are slower that I feel like overstay their welcome, to the point of I can be chill for however long I need to be, as long as I feel like we're going somewhere. And if we stay too ambient for too long, I kind of get taken out of that experience. And I feel like there were about 2 points on this album where I hit that point, and it was a very, I don't know, upsetting is not the right word, but a little bit disappointing, because albums like this are very hard to pull off, right? Like, especially if they're a little bit longer, and you need to be able to keep the listener engaged the whole time. And I feel like this was so close to hitting that mark, but when it fails to do so, you notice it, and it does take you out of it. And I don't think it quite stuck the landing on that regard. And I feel like if we'd taken maybe 30 seconds of that slower time and put another another guitar solo. There were a couple good solos on this album, but like put another guitar solo somewhere, or a riff, or some sort of other instrumental break that makes me feel a little bit more emotional, like I Seeing Eyes did. That it's like 1 minute of changed sounds away from greatness, in my opinion. And then what you're left with instead is a really good album that executes a lot of things great, but doesn't stick the landing on one really important aspect.
I feel like you're dodging mentioning a specific song name here, but there's a specific song in mind that has this exact flaw, and it is a glaring problem to me.
Is it one of the Astrays?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Go for it.
Moon Astray, like, it's a very unique song on this album. It was the first moment on this album where you get this kind of like spoken word rap-ish delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a very cool touch, especially on an album like this, where you are kind of going from like these super fast-paced riffs to these like really ambient sounds. And I think spoken word can be really powerful, but it just peters out for like 2 minutes. And
yeah,
it just, I don't know. Like I don't feel like the payoff was earned for what it was trying to execute. And on an album in this style, I feel like that flaw stings a lot harder than on other albums in different genres.
For sure. Spoken word can be very moving. I've heard it in plenty of well, I shouldn't say plenty. I've heard it in enough tracks in this genre to be able to, yeah.
Movements.
I feel like, right? I think that the lyrical content, for there not being a lot of lyrics in this album, all things considered, the lyrical content of those spoken word rap sections was quite strong. It's just the way that it was executed, I feel like didn't, like you said, that payoff, that emotional payoff just wasn't there. And it's doubly frustrating when the lyrics are conveying that. Like at that point, it just comes down to execution in tandem with the instrumentation. And when this band has shown that they can be so talented on many of these other like technical sections, or even when like the vocals aren't taking a backseat, like what this band has going for them as an idea or a concept, it works great. And it's just this one, because I believe it's also Diamond Morning. I want to say it's either Diamond Morning or Ruby, where there's also that kind of spoken word rap section, and there it doesn't take me out of it nearly as much. But when, like you said, when you have it kind of petering out at the end, it's like, well, shit, like you've lost me. Especially when it seems like these first 4 songs in particular are meant to establish whatever theme or journey we're going on. I wasn't. That is one of the big moments for me that took me out of it, which is unfortunate because like it's not
we
like
finally
I don't
can
like
agree on something this
rap.
episode.
Yes, it took us so long.
I want to say this band has been getting a lot of love for this album.
Good.
They're it's like pretty small band, right? 160,000. This is, I don't know what they were at before. I assume it was much less.
I think it was like 120, I want to say, when we checked out the single. So it's a decent,
okay,
all things considered, like an extra 33%. It's not, I guess, yeah, whatever. It's been a long week. It's Monday.
Math.
Holy shit, kill me. Oh yeah, a very good album. Probably one of the better. I hesitate to call it an instrumental album, but like for an album like this, it's one of the better ones that I've heard in quite a while.
This is
I think
one
to
of
me,
those
it's like I don't
bands
listen to this genre very often, so even just listening to an album like this every once in a while, it's just something different for me, you know.
The Zuma shot was crazy, by the way. Oh, sorry, Jake. I was just the last time I thought of that guy was like 2012, and he was like wrecking everybody as Enderman in Super Smash Mobs, and I was like, this guy's the greatest PvPer of all time. Like, and I haven't thought about him since. That's why when you mentioned his name, I'm like, oh fuck. Like,
I was like actively watching him up until like the past year.
Hell yeah, I didn't even realize he was still making content.
Like he's uploaded over 1,000 episodes of Hermitcraft, and I definitely have watched over 1,000 episodes of Hermitcraft from him.
Hell yeah, that's me with the Yogscast, bro. I still watch those guys all the time.
I still watch Etho. He released a video today.
Is he still making like Redstone Con, or was that Seth Bling? Seth Bling made Redstone Con.
Both.
I mean,
Yeah, that
Etho
was
and
Etho's
Seth
lab,
both
right?
did. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but this is one of those bands where you could lose the vocalist, and yeah,
True.
Yeah.
we were talking
True.
about that earlier. Or you kind of lose your identity as a vocal if you lose your vocalist, but I think this band has sealed their identity in the instrumentation. So
Yeah, I mean,
For
very
sure.
talented
Although-
vocalist for sure. Like you're
I
definitely
was gonna
losing
say.
something, losing the vocalist, but you have a very strong foundation in the instrumental style that Karmanjakah is going for here.
Yeah, 110%.
On to our final album for this episode. Dark Divine have released their sophomore album, Undead Melody.
We say together till the end, but what about the afterlife? The afterlife.
I can't recall if I ever talked about any of these singles leading up to this rollout or added any of it into any of our playlists, but for the past almost year, this has quietly been a sleeper. Like, holy shit, this album is going to be really good, and holy shit, this album is really good. This is, I would argue, a step up from Deadly Fun for sure. While I don't think it peaks as high as Cold from that last album, it is otherwise way more consistent and way more fun. There are so many moments on this album that I find myself just thinking about, just from instrumentals to vocals. Instrumentally should start off with Midnight Masquerade, which released as a single a couple months ago, and I did not like it because it's one of those songs that, like, second one you're into like a brutally heavy metalcore unclean riff verse, and I don't like when songs start out that jarring. But the more I listen to the song and the more I get used to that opening, I realize that is one of the biggest choruses of the year that I've heard so far. And one of the best breakdowns I have heard all year. Genuine contender for breakdown of the year on Midnight Masquerade. It is so sick. Fading Away and Permanent have huge choruses. Better Start Digging I didn't save as a single when it dropped last summer, and I was skeptical that it might be like the thing that drags this album down. It is way better than I remember it being. We're going to skip Infestation and Temporary Paradise for now to get into my favorite song on the album, Halloween Town 2, Welcome Home. That song is incredible. It is it is the Undead Ahead. I remember Undead Ahead 2 from Motionless in White. That song still rips. Halloween Town 2 is very much a similar song of like slow, spooky build into metalcore riff verse, into clean chorus, into sick breakdown. My favorite song on the album for sure. Freak Show leans into the kind of theatrics that Dark Divine kind of dabble with here and there, but they kind of full commit to the bit on Freak Show, and I think it works. Half Past Dead on Bury Me is probably one of the more radio safe songs on this album, but again, an absolutely huge chorus. The Void is just a Memphis Mayfire song, and we know how I feel about Memphis Mayfire. Make Me Disappear was the lead single and is robbed of being in my Spotify Wrapped playlist last year. An incredible song. And then This Is Not the End, It Only Feels Like It is a great closer. Across the board, other than Sinfestation and Temporary Paradise in the middle, which have kind of been a little underwhelming, like an unbelievable start and finish to this album for, I mean, yeah, they have like the kind of horror gimmick going on, but otherwise it's just like post-hardcore leaning metalcore. It's not a super creative genre bending thing like a Nature's Ghost or Sachi 6 or Karmanjakah or Bill Murray. It's fairly standard for the genre, but they are executing it at such a high level as far as I'm concerned.
I didn't listen to this album. Does it feel like Motionless in White 2.0?
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
Justin was quick to answer that one. I have heard
Yeah,
that
'cause
comparison being thrown around for a couple of years now, so.
It was very apparent in their last album, and it still is.
Is that do you think to its detriment, Justin, or how are you feeling about it?
So anyway, my favorites from this are Temporary Paradise and Sinfestation.
He says so anyways.
God damn it, dude. Why did I come back from Poland just to suffer?
I left the Jake.
I will be honest, it's hard for me to separate the comparison, so I think it's a little bit to their detriment, but
I mean, it's their own fault. Like it feels like they're trying so hard to look, and like their whole branding is.
yeah.
Anyway,
And
I will say, regarding the Motionless in White comparison, this is disguised era Motionless in White, not scoring the end of the world Motionless in White, which was far worse.
Okay,
That's
so
fair.
it's forgivable Motionless in White is what
Yes.
I'm meaning. All right. Not Red, White, and Boom.
No. The closest you're getting to
Okay.
Red, White, and Boom is probably Undead Melody as the album opener, which might be tough for you to swallow.
Great. Oh, yeah. This is promising, Jake. Thanks a bunch. I can't wait to check out this album.
Actually, no, I just remembered I wrote down the lyrics. This is not the end, it only feels like it. The bridge is them spelling out ANXIETY. Why am I feeling this way inside? And I feel like there have been a few
Giant song.
There
that
have been a
does
few
that,
too
so
many
I'll forgive
bands
it.
in recent years spelling out the ANXIETY. For me, it's kind of
at least it's not EVILDOLL.
God, what is that?
It's Einstein Kills.
Oh, of course it is. Oh, of course it is. You know how I feel. I will.
on the
like
topic
that
of
song.
lyrics that I have
don't like
written
that
down.
song.
On the topic of
That
lyrics,
song
I
is
have
not
written
good.
down. The Void, how I mentioned it's just a Memphis Mayfire song. If I read you the lyrics, when you stare in the void, I stare back. If I didn't tell you who wrote those lyrics, you would probably guess Memphis Mayfire is like one of your first guesses.
I'll do you one better. I would guess Cody Keystad. It could just as easily be a
And
wage
even
work all out.
even the delivery of it. When you stare in the void, I stare back, drop out the instrumentation, I stare back, riff down.
Oh God, yeah, that's got Cody all. In fact, what song
It
is
is
that? 1 second.
The Void.
The Void.
Do they shout
credits.
any of the song names at the beginning? That's the
Make
way
Me
it works.
Disappear. Make Me Disappear and Half Past Dead on Bury Me both drop the song name. I know that for sure.
At the beginning?
Yeah. Not at like the very beginning. Like Half Past Dead and Bury Me, there's like a little bit of a build up into it. Make Me Disappear is the same thing where it's like riff, Make Me Disappear, like actual riff.
Okay, I'm not seeing any Cody. This is good signs. Yeah, we're good.
I
passed
think
the
it's
Cody
funny how we
test.
can use Memphis Mayfire as like a derogatory insult or a good thing, depending on your perspective.
Same with Wage
That
War
is
at this
true.
point.
But yeah.
That is true. And who do they have in common? Cody Keystad. It's the
Keystad.
Cody. I'm gonna start calling it the Cody Coinflip. I think that's where I'm landing.
That's so good, actually. That's so
The
good.
Cody coin flip.
The Cody Coinflip.
Yo, you need to trademark that right now.
I'm sure he'd have a lot of positive things to say about that.
Fun fact: one of the co-writers for this album was a former composer for Iceland Kills.
Man, they're really leaning into it, huh?
This band does not weigh the horror, spooky influences on their sleeve nearly as much as Ice Nine Kills or Motionless in White do. It is definitely there, but it is not as prominent as on either of those albums. With the exception of like Halloween Town 2, obviously. Undead Melody. Undead Melody. And there's a couple of songs that kind of
Freak
dabble in
Show.
it, but yeah, Freak Show.
FS Dead on Bury Me. Better Start Digging. That guy,
can't win,
I
Jake.
don't mean to be that guy, but if you ask me who wrote the song "Better Start Digging,"
I mean,
oh, sorry, Jake. Dude, he's hit me with that
No, it's
Poland
okay.
stare.
No,
I
it's
can't
okay.
do it.
Sinfestations kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
I didn't
it's
listen to
there
the
in the
song, so I
song
can't make fun
titles.
of it.
I don't feel like it's there in the instrumentation or lyrics, maybe as obvious as the song titles are giving.
Guys, one of the writers on Better Start Digging is named Corey Scissorhand.
There's
No way. That's a stage thing.
It's on.
imagine
the,
it's Cody
it's on the
Keystone?
credits.
Hold on.
That's
Credits.
awesome.
Holy shit, it is. You're like one letter away from Cody. Hold on. No, I gotta find out
Cody
who Corey
Scissorhands.
Scissorhands is. Corey Scissorhands. Dark Divine. Show me this
He's the
guy.
bassist for the band.
Is his name
Bro,
actually
how does he-
Corey Scissorhands?
No, it's not. It's like Chris Motionless.
Oh, okay, yeah. His last name is Piscatelli. He's Corey Scissorhands Pescatarian. Bass, 2023 to present. Yeah, it's close enough, bro.
Get that man a
Corey-
fish.
Corey Rigatoni.
I
All good.
think we're done with this album discussion.
Wait, no, I'm not done. You can be done.
Okay, I
Apparently,
think we are done, as in
think
myself and
someone
Derek.
from the band to cap off with this. I think it's only fair that we set the Motionless in White comparison. The fact that I think the vocalist is featuring on the Motionless in White's next album.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Oh man, I suppose if you set your aesthetic up like this, you're like low-key guaranteed a support slot on like every Motionless in White tour ever. So maybe this could be like a financial decision. They are motivated by tour profits. I shouldn't talk so much shit. I haven't even heard the album. I do remember listening to their last album.
You
and I
are
thought it was
speaking
bad,
off of your
so-
hatred for Ice Nine Kills right now.
I am
That is
strictly
true.
I am joking about it, but overall, like, I didn't really connect too much with this album, apart from like one song I saved, and that was "Temporary Paradise."
I think I remember listening to that 2023 album, and it was before I wait, Dark Divine, where is it? Yeah, this did not rank well.
They got
I
the
remember-
Reaper in there.
They had a Fame on Fire feature in there, and I was still like really upset about that last Fame on Fire album. I remember harping on that
They
song
also
in
have a
particular.
song called Hivemind. I'm gonna listen to
They
it.
do.
Oh shit! Wait, the Redemption arc. Hold on.
It is not
I,
of all the songs named Hivemind, it is not the best one.
I saw them live. It was all right.
I still can't get over Fame on Fire's Redemption arc, bro. I got every song off that album saved. Did that
It's
end up
so-
making my top 10? I think I put it number
did.
10. I want to say.
I want to say it was like number 7. It was like higher up on the list.
It was pretty high. Hold on. End of year awards. Yeah, it was number 8. That's crazy. How do you remember my list better than I do? This is
He does
crazy.
the editing. It's
Yeah, he
fine.
does- he's
that is
just, like,
true.
embedded.
That is true. So I had Billie Eilish number 5. Yo, I was smoking so fucking crack making this list. That should have been number 1. I deadass don't think I've listened to that Knock Loose album since I rated it number 1.
So are we done
Anyway.
with the album discussion now? Yeah?
I'm done.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to be a wrap on our May recap. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to follow us on social media, Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram and Twitter, Hivemind Radio on YouTube, Hivemind Recap Podcast on Spotify and other podcast platforms. And be sure to join our Discord server if you want to chat with us about any of these releases. Share us new releases that maybe we will discuss on one of our future episodes. You can join the
And give us
Discord
shorts
to
ideas.
do that. Give us shorts
Facts.
ideas for our shorts. And yeah. Any last comments that y'all want to mention before we wrap this episode? Any last releases that we didn't get to talk about that you want to quickly mention?
There's a single, Life Spark, with their upcoming album featuring Philip Strand that we didn't include, and that's one of the other better singles of this month. But
I actually had that song in the playlist until Future Palace dropped their song.
Yeah, I saw you had it in there. It's a really good song, but I would say wait for the album.
I also need to shout out new songs from Against the Current and Stand Atlantic.
I didn't know those
It's
came out.
crazy. United against the currents. Against the current.
And yeah, I think those are
I
kind
think
of
the
all
only-
two.
Sorry.
I think the
it's
only
just killing me.
others.
Oh, wait, no, there's one other
Sorry.
thing I need to shout out.
Jacob made a comment to Jake. Jake is just staring off into the distance with a fluoride stare. Like he's like,
There's one other thing that I need to
Maybe
quickly
I'm
shout
behind the
out.
paywall.
yeah, right.
The last thing I want to shout out, there's a new album from a new band I listened to called Saint Agnes. They released an album called Your God-Fearing Days Are About to Begin. Very industrial rock, not something that I usually listen to. Really cool album. I didn't want to solo carry another album discussion for this episode, so I left it out, but very cool album. Derek, I think there's a minor chance you would really like it. So
I'll take it.
I don't know if you'll ever
Saint
get to it
Agnes.
because there's a lot that you have to get to. But
Well, St. Agnes up at the monastery with Monk Justin. Oh, great wise sayings.
Dude, next he's got to have like the monk outfit next, like the robe. Next episode.
bald?
No, I'm not being bald. The
I prefer can we get a nun outfit instead? Can we get the Justin?
Absolutely not. The last couple of songs I want to shout out for the release this month. Glasslands put out Blood in the Water, and North Road put out Falling Apart. Those songs are pretty good. But I'd already added a lot, so I didn't include them.
Thank you.
All right, that's
Winston.
actually going to wrap up the episode. We will see you next month for our June recap. See you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.